Welcome to the Foil Life Podcast, where we talk about foiling and the lifestyles of those who enjoy these great sports.
All right, hey brother, it's nice to meet you, man.
Likewise, dude.
Matt's been talking about your sick videos for a little while, so it was cool to deep dive into them and check some of them out. You've been at this for a little while, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been like, I don't know, making videos and stuff, maybe, 15 plus years probably. I started making videos before videos were like a thing that people thought were a good idea to make, you know?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Oh, shit. So must have been a pretty fun time then over the last 15 doing that.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been a cool journey because obviously I started with kitesurfing. That was like my main into water sports and the industry and all that stuff. And yeah, I kited for a long time. Started making videos online. That led to more connections, more opportunities, and here we are, still kind of doing the same thing, just a different version of
it. Yeah, exactly. We're getting a bit of something weird on your mic. Yeah, there you go. I don't know, maybe it's something.
All right, like rocking back and forth.
Yeah, that's good. It's fine. I think we're fine. All right, cool. You are on the beautiful island of Antigua, because I hear these. What are those, grasshoppers or something awesome back there?
Yeah, I think the crickets.
Oh, sick.
Just come out at night. Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
My whole life, man. I was born and raised on island.
Oh, shit.
So pretty lucky. My dad was born and raised on island as well. So sorry, my dog's going crazy now, but
it's all right.
Yeah, my dad was born and raised on island as well. So yeah, from my dad's side of the family, the roots are pretty deep on island.
Wow, not bad. So school, everything. How was that growing up? Because I have a buddy that actually just moved to Martinique from Montreal, Canada.
Nice.
He couldn't handle the shitty wind in Montreal, and like the 2 sessions you get a year at Sandbanks, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but he's like, screw it. His wife is French, so they were able to move down to Martinique, and so far he's building a catamaran, working on a catamaran. So he'll be living down there. But yeah, how was that growing up on an island like that?
It's cool, man. You know, obviously when I was doing it, I didn't really know any other way. So for me, it was just normal life. This is just how life is. It wasn't really until I started to travel a little bit for kiting. You start to see different spots, different places, and like, oh, well, this is like, you know, the same thing, but a little bit different. Water temps a little colder, a little busier, you know, a little more fast paced when you get off island for sure. But it was cool. In general, I was lucky to kind of get into water sports fairly young. So I've been like kiting and stuff since I was probably since 2003, 2004.
Whoa.
So that's when I got the hook pretty early on. And that was quite helpful being on an island because it is cool being on an island, but it's, you know, island life, there's only so many things to do. It's a very different way of life compared to like a bigger city or a bigger place. But when you have that water sports pull, it's heaven, you know, because we have like world-class locations and still pretty quiet, always warm, pretty long season. So when you get that hook, you can just keep, you know, feeding yourself as much as you have the energy to go out, really. So it's cool, man. It's definitely a cool place to grow up.
I found that because I was fortunate enough to be on Maui for a little bit, and I love water, right? And I love windsurfing and all these different sports, but I didn't realize how much of, let's say, a water place it is that you actually have to go like a full layer deeper into it, which is like, and then when you embrace it, it's phenomenal. But if you're like, I love it, but it was weird because it's a way of life. Completely way of life, right? And I'm assuming it's very similar to over there.
Yeah, it's interesting. That Antigua is kind of an interesting one. It's not like as crazy as Hawaii, I think, because we have the conditions and then we have great spots for it. But like the local community is quite small because like locals on island, like they'll go to the beach and stuff, but they're not like big swimmers. They're not really big fans of the water, like the local crew. So it's an interesting one. Like you can get into it and go crazy, but really a small percentage of people do, just because they're just very at that, you know, go to waist deep level water. And that's as far as they go.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's a little
Let,
bit different to like some of the islands like Barbados, and some islands have it where it's just like their locals are big into it. But Antigua's kind of like has the location, has a spot, but the culture is just a little bit different.
Here it is. Here's this beautiful island. Am I right? Yes, it is, right?
You got it.
Now, let's zoom out a little bit for everybody on YouTube. And if you're listening in, we're just going to kind of go over this. So it's not that far from Guadalupe.
Yeah, pretty close.
Which is supposed to be a really fun island for sailing as well. But if we zoom in here, what kind of conditions do you get there? Flat water, bump and jump, waves?
Yeah, so it's a mix. Like it's fairly flat water most of the spots. There's like one or two spots you can get waves at every now and again. It's not like all the time. So it's mainly like either butterflat or kind of rolling open ocean swell kind of vibe.
Are there any, let's dive into some of your favorite spots now that we have this map open. Whereabouts do you live approximately?
Yeah, so we're on the north side, kind of near Hodges Bay area. That's kind of where
Hodges
we live.
Bay up there? Okay.
And then like most of the kiting and winging kind of happens on that side of the island because the wind's blowing from the east. So the wind's kind of hitting that coast.
Whoa. And how are your reefs there? Are they kind of Bonaire-esque?
Similar. Yeah, a lot of reefs around. Definitely a lot of protection wrapping the island. Maybe not as alive as Bonaire, where they got a little bit more boat traffic over here, but we definitely have a ton of reef all over.
Oh, nice. Any kind of wave spots where stuff breaks, or is it more kind of open ocean swell?
Yeah, so like if you go kind of further down to the south, there's a spot called Half Moon Bay. That's a pretty epic wing spot. So it's like kind of far down, yeah. Yeah, so you can kind of see zoom in kind of where Freetown is. Half Moon Bay is kind of like hiding in that.
Oh, there it is. All right. Yeah. So what makes this spot spectacular? Is it flat? Is it slightly bumpy? Or
so here's like a sweet wave spot, like right on that point where the bay just starts. The waves just kind of peel off of there when they're forming. And it's a cool spot because it can get, some good rollers, but it's still pretty safe. It's not like big, like barreling waves. It's just like a nice, massive speed bump.
Oh, cool.
So there's a pretty sweet spot. I don't really get to ride there enough because it's not that far away, but it's a little bit different to our normal spot. But there can get super fun.
Does it take you a while to travel across it's a relatively large island, right? Well, looking at it this way, but
yeah, so like it takes about like 40 to 50 minutes to drive to the other side, so it's not massive.
Oh, really? That's not bad.
But it's like an island drive, potholes, goats, cows, people popped up talking to their friends. So sometimes it can take a little longer. But
do you guys on Bonaire? Because I was there for a camp in May, and I guess on Sundays they have this drag strip racing that's completely illegal, but you guys do that stuff too.
That's funny. Yeah, not so much on the street. They do have like a drag track here, and Sunday I think's the day that they get all excited. But Antigua's a little bit more chill on that side of things.
So is it a good place to come to learn? Is it a good place to come to progress? Like, what would you see your ideal target market would be? Because I even want to explore more of those islands.
Yeah, it's both really, man. Like, it's a great place to come and start fresh and know nothing because it's very kind of forgiving conditions. We have flat water, calm, steady wind. Wind's usually between 12 to 20 knots, anywhere in that range. So it's kind of ideal learner conditions. And then also if you're at the stage where you kind of know what you're doing, where you don't really get a chance to have enough sessions, it's a great place to come for like, a week, 2 weeks, and hopefully spend most of that time riding.
Is it expensive?
It can get pretty consistent in season. What was that?
Is it expensive compared to Bonaire, for example?
So Bonaire, let's see. I mean, it's
it was like $1,100 US a week, and I stayed at a really beautiful kind of complex. I didn't complain. Even the car rental wasn't terrible.
Yeah, so it's maybe a smidge more than somewhere like Bonaire.
Okay.
It's kind of in between the middle. It's not quite a Turks and Caicos, but it's not like a super cheap island either. It's kind of in the middle.
Okay.
So if you're smart about it and you look around, you can obviously find pretty decent deals, but don't come and expect to, be just on the low budget, because definitely just at the island tax. As soon as you get to the island, everything costs a little bit more.
Well, man, even La Ventana, Mexico, like I was checking out spots because I would normally rent a place for 6 months, and that was about like anywhere from 11 to 1,500 pesos, so like 6, 7, 800 US. But now, if you're looking at just renting nightly, is I couldn't find anything under 100 or 80 or 120, which is like that's the same price that we could, like, my mom would rent her room sometimes in Canada, and it's the same thing in there. So it is crazy, obviously, how prices have shot up. But you also run a school there too, right?
Yeah, buddy. So we started our school back in 2020, just as COVID hit.
Oh shit!
We've been running it since then, and yeah, it's fun, man. We started with just kiting, and basically 2020 kiting was still kind of on top, the main thing everyone wanted to do. And then probably the past three-ish years, winging has definitely caught on big time, and now we do kind of almost 50-50.
What do you find demographic of people coming to learn?
It's a pretty wide mix. We get a lot of people that are, maybe in the 30s, 40s, 50s. It just depends. It's a similar crowd to like the kiting crowd. You do get kind of people who kind of on the older side, not like super old, but you don't get a bunch of 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds coming. You kind of at the 25, 30 plus mark, kind of looking for something to, make sure the body keeps working and have some fun on the water.
Yeah, that's fair. What was some of your most fun adventures that kiting's brought you so far? Because you probably traveled to some pretty cool, epic spots.
Man, there's a ton, dude. I think just traveling on a whole was like a massive plus to getting into kiting. Got to go to places like Bora Bora. That was definitely a pretty massive highlight.
Whoa.
Pretty wild story. Basically, there was a guy who was a kiter and watched my videos and was planning this sick birthday party in Bora Bora, and basically invited me to come along to help make sure the kiting went well. And we got to hang out with some cool peeps and see somewhere we never thought we'd actually get to go to. So that was definitely one of the big ones.
Whoa, that would have been. Here, let's check that island out real quick. Yeah. How long were you there for?
We were there for a while, probably like, I can't remember. It's been a little while now, like probably 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. What an interesting looking island, eh? With all the different stuff going on.
It's
what
like
the hell's going on here?
Make an island, that's kind of like how you would design it. It's insane. Like if you could just map it up and be like, sweet, let me just make the perfect island. This is it.
Wow. So you got like islands on the outside, you got reef, you got all these little channels to head out to the ocean. Like, what are the conditions like there?
It's like a big swimming pool, man. So,
whoa.
Wild story. So we didn't get that much wind when we were there, but luckily I was into kite foiling, so that saved the whole trip, because I got a ton of sessions because I was able to actually get on foil and whip around. But it's literally like a swimming pool, dude, or like an aquarium. Everywhere you pull up to is like stingrays, tons of fish, black-tip sharks. Like, it's just very alive. Just like Antigua, but on steroids, just like totally untouched, and just, massive aquarium.
All right, we'll put it on the list. Who wants to do some wing foiling camps in Bora Bora, eh?
Let's go, dude. There's a lot of cool stuff down there. Bora Bora, the Cook Islands. I feel like there's tons of little gems hiding out there.
Whoa, nice. What? When did you get into wing foiling?
So wing foiling probably like 3-4 years ago. Kind of as soon as North started making wing stuff. I think that was maybe like 2021-ish time. We started to kind of dabble. Started out with all the wrong gear, basic hand wing, and I was like, oh, I kite foil. It's gonna be just like that, dude. I'll use a tiny board, tiny foil, and basically quickly learned that that's not gonna work so well.
No.
Had a lot of fail sessions, and kind of almost thought that winging was just gonna be like a super high wind sport, because my gear was like so tiny. Though I was like on a single board, like had all the stuff right at the start. So I was like, I don't know. Winging might just be not for us because you need too much wind. And then, as the years went on, gear got started to get better. You start to learn more about, thinking about your board size in liters and feet versus centimeters like you do on a kiteboard.
True. True.
Those little adjustments were like just learning the, language of it all. Because, I never windsurfed anything like that. So I was just used to measuring my gear like a wakeboard or a kiteboard.
True.
So I had to learn the body weight to liter ratio, all that fun stuff. And as the gear got better, we started to figure out, okay, cool, here's the beginner setup. And then maybe you get close to kind of what we were trying to start on at the very beginning. So like expert setups.
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool to like see how they like figured it all out, because all the brands started kind of similar time. And gear, everyone starts with like, all right, we're figuring out this new sport. And this is kind of what we got for the best easy setup now. And then like, as the years go on, they realize they need a bit more buffer for, making it as easy as possible for people. So I feel like today the gear is in a pretty sweet spot where, it's easy to understand what to get. And if you do get the right stuff, life's fairly easy to kind of get those first flights and have some fun.
It's true. Like I find, because I'm in cold water, right? Most of the year, we always rode bigger boards. But I finally got to ride like a 48 that would sink, I don't know, like this much underwater, and it was pretty fun to be with the modern foils, right? Because my brother had this old kite foil that he bought years ago. It was probably like, I don't know, 400 to 600, but it was just this little tiny thing, right? And it took him, the guy said it's going to take you 10 hours to get up and riding on that thing, and he's a good kiter. I was like, fuck me, this is hard. But then compared to that, because I tried to get that going when foiling, there's no freaking way. But now with modern foils, 5 years later, like it's so much easier. It's like a little freaking snowboard track. It was pretty cool, actually, with a board that small.
Yeah, no, the gear tech is massive when it comes to wing foiling. Like you definitely have to understand what it is. And, getting the wrong setup could make or break your season or session big time.
Well, lead you to just go on for some Miller High Lifes instead of doing what you should be doing.
I give up. I'm beat.
How long have you been coaching for now? You said since 2020, right?
So that's like when we started the school, but I've been coaching for many years before that, like just working for other schools and kind of just doing my own thing independently. Because it's many years now. Because straight out of high school, my goal was to go pro and do this full time. So, like, I remember when that was like 2009, 10, something like that. Maybe I can't quite remember now. It's been a while. I kind of went from high school straight into my first job, which was working at the kite school, teaching kiting.
Cool.
And then that led to kind of getting sponsored and doing the pro thing for a little while, traveling around. And then eventually we started up our own thing, and now we got all the tools and gear to, share stuff with new people. So it's fun.
Is it a family business, or do you run it by yourself? Or
so me and my wife actually started the business, and basically the head guys in charge. We usually bring like 2 or 3 instructors in for the season, and kind of jam as a like 3 to 5 person team.
Oh, sweet, nice. How was that pro tour journey?
It was epic, man. Like being a pro as in kiting or winging can be tricky. Like you live a cool lifestyle, but it's hard to.
Well, it's millionaire in the first year, I heard, right? It just flows.
Right, just straight up, man. Just keeps coming.
You got a yacht now?
I know, right away. No, it's one of those where obviously it's not always what you think it's going to be when you first get into it. Like you get a lot of opportunities, and you get access to all the sick gear, and you get to kind of travel around and do a lot of cool stuff and be in the scene, but to actually earn cash that you hold on to is a little bit tricky. So it was fun for the time, but really if we didn't start our school, it would be kind of hard to keep fueling the passion,
Yeah, no, I hear you. Matt and I just had a conversation about that, like with all the content creators. Like there seems to be this massive surge. We started a podcast for fun 3 years ago, a passion project, and we got sponsored. So we just keep kind of rolling down the rabbit hole and trying to keep it on the weekend and being responsible in that way. But it's tough to monetize any of these kind of things. it's unfortunate that YouTube is free. I wish everything was paid, but that's the way she goes.
I know, right? It's interesting. I think it's going that way, you know. So all this stuff I think is going to compound over time.
Yeah.
Like the whole content thing, you know, because when I first started, like I was selling brands on the idea of online marketing kind of, you know, because
yeah,
I kind of came in when magazines and DVDs were kind of the things that people were still doing. And it kind of, internet, Instagram, YouTube, that was kind of just starting to sort of, you know, maybe a few years in where brands would make YouTube videos and actually put any money or value into it. Whereas now, obviously, it's still not quite there where there's tons of budget for us to do this sort of thing. But I think, you know, we're not far off because it's proven in a lot of other industries. It's just because our industry is a bit smaller. There's a little bit less money to go around, but there's tons of value in this sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. And it connects directly with like into their living room, especially some of your videos that you've created. They're amazing. And that kind of entertainment and that kind of bringing in people into it. Because some people, let's say, they might even never get the opportunity to go to the places that you guys have gotten to visit, or for 5 minutes a day, maybe that'll put them in a different mood or help them connect with the sport, or you never know where it's going to take them. Like teaching these sports, I think is super valuable. There's all these different ways to help around and help the planet, but one way to make sure they don't go home and beat their whole family is to make sure that they go out and have a kite session.
That's right, dude. It'll feel good. At least have something to aim at, you know, and maybe not quite there. I can't do it right now. Be like, you know, when I do get that chance, this is a place I'm going to go because I know it's sick. I've researched it without even trying to research it. It's just been like coming my way. So I know all about this thing. And when I go to buy my setup, I know what setup to buy because I've been watching this guy do it. And he's dialed in. So I don't even need to go super deep. This is going to fit.
True.
So yeah, you can never really have enough leads, right, with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. What gear is your favorite so far that you've gotten to ride or are riding now?
Yeah, so obviously we're like pretty biased because our school is all North and Mystic, so we kind of just ride their stuff. Nice. Which is kind of spoils us. We're kind of picky when we see other setups. Like, I don't know if I want to take that first plane. But also it's tricky on the island because there's not a ton of gear around, right? There's only three schools in total, so it's a pretty small community. So sometimes guys bring down like other brand and stuff and maybe you get a chance to kind of have a look, but we're mainly riding the North lineup for kites, wings, all that sort of stuff.
Nice. Yeah, they're our sponsor, our main sponsor. Mike was the one that believed kind of in us to kind of get this thing rolling. So their gear is great. Frank, I think, once again, has probably purchased every piece of their equipment and absolutely loves it. We get the emails every time gear gets purchased and stuff. It's like once a week he's buying something new. It's pretty sick, though. I was riding their 830 and I tried their 680 SF. And also, I think I tried their 1230 for pair winging. And yeah, super good gear, good low end, very maneuverable, very solid. Good stuff.
Yeah. And it gets better every year. Like I love it because like coming from someone who has a school aspect as well, it's like nice to have a brand that kind of has a deep, you know, offering where you can start super basic, super beginner, your first setup ever. And then in the same session, switch it to like a high performance setup that I would want to ride. And it all talks and fits and is, you know, solid and strong. So yeah, I've been stoked on that stuff, man. It's like good, and then every year it's like, damn, it's gotten even better. They're doing all the stuff that I thought would be a good idea and more. So they're very switched on the like design team, I think.
Yeah, like I met Hugh, Uli, and then Matt, and all the different guys that work because I go to AWSI to cover the event every year, and they're super. It is obviously living in New Zealand, like they're on it all the time, and that's one super cool thing to be able to talk to the designers because they're so disconnected from the sales aspect of things. So they just get to geek out at all the stuff they're trying to work on, or how do they fix this problem. It's super interesting. Especially if you're passionate about it, because you're like, how did you make that go away? It's like, oh, that's how you did it.
Yeah, it's a science for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. So let's say somebody wants to come to your school or somebody wants to come and plan a trip. Do you guys help with accommodations or like car rentals and all that kind of thing? Or would you have suggestions if you don't?
Yeah, so we kind of suggest most of that stuff. So we specialize mainly in the lesson experience. So you
Hmm.
come and we're trying to make sure you get some results when you actually get on the water.
Yeah.
And then we obviously have tons of recommendations of like places to stay, how to get around, stuff like that.
Sweet.
So all that stuff's kind of on our website. But yeah, it's cool. Like all the action's kind of on the north side. It's all pretty close to the airport. So like once you get to the island, it's pretty easy to get to the spot and kind of get on the water pretty quickly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does your wife kite, or did she get into water sports too? Yeah.
Yeah, man. So when we first met, she had never done any board sports ever.
Whoa.
But she was a big sailor. Her dad was a big sailor, and she spent a lot of time sailing the Caribbean and just being in the water and stuff like that. But she'd never really been on boards at all. And then kitesurfing was her first board sport ever. And she got hooked into that. Now she kite foils, wing foils, does all the fun stuff. So she's all the way
nice. You got a little one too, right?
Yeah, we got a baby girl who's like almost 2.5 now.
Oh, congrats. Nice.
Yeah, and
how's that journey been?
She's going to be winging in like another 4 years, maybe.
It's the 8-year-olds that are going to win the tour soon.
Right? Insane.
Shout out to little Benji. Benji turned 14 and then has been training with Chris McDonald like in La Ventana, and he won freestyle world title this year. So like
that's
crazy,
absolutely insane.
I was riding with those guys last year, I think, when I was there, and the speed and the height and the wipeouts and all that shit is just like. But I imagine starting kiting back then, it would have been the same. Like obviously the safety has like. It really, when was it? Was it 2010 or 11 or something when the kites drastically changed? I can't remember.
Yeah, around then probably 2010, 2012. So yeah, when I first learned, it was still pretty sketchy. Like they had just came out with 4-line kites, so like I was learning on the 4-line kites, but like safety systems, setting up your gear incorrectly, all that stuff was very easy to do wrong. So people were just getting dragged left, right, front and center. Like even if you knew what you're doing, you make like one little mistake where you're line and like, oh, it's going.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gear has gotten so much better. It's so cool to see. Like people don't even realize now. Like if you learn to kite now, it's like just listen to the first lesson and you're golden. You just understand how to use the safety systems, understand how to set it up, how to make it stop, and you'll be fine. Because back in the day, like even if you tried to make it stop, you gotta keep going for a little bit.
One thing I'll mention, it was scary but funny at the same time. My brother was playing on like the West Coast further down, right? And he had a 2-meter, 2-line trainer kite, right? And he's like, whatever, it's blasting 50, I'll be fine. And he's hooked in, right? He's hooked into it. He accidentally sends it into a death loop. And he's just getting skipped off his ass down the beach. And just like, this is a 2-meter we're talking about. It's not like a 10-meter. Yeah. So eventually, thank God it catches in the log and he stops before him going into the log. He's like, okay. He calls or whatever. Say, hey, how was it? Maybe I won't play in 50 knots anymore.
Yeah, you learn like that. Nature pretty fast when you're on a freaking kite, that's for sure.
Yeah, that shit's insane. So we talked about Bora Bora as kind of like your best kite trip kind of adventure in that. What about your favorite stop on the tour when you were doing pro? Are there any kind of areas that was the most fun to go to?
Oh, so like competing wise, I didn't do too much competing. I did a little bit of competing early days, but I kind of quickly transitioned into the pro free rider section.
Oh, all right. So more content, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I kind of focused on that stuff, more demo tours, stuff like that. But one of the standout places for competition was actually in Russia, dude. They had a park event there back in the day. I forget the name of the spot, but it was near like the Black Sea, I think. But that was just a wild experience because, you know, it was kind of like being anywhere else. It was like a nice like lagoon, warm, sunny, but no one spoke any English. So you had to have like a translator with you to order water, to do anything. Basically.
Whoa, yeah.
But it was a sick event. It was very well organized, and you had all that stuff. So that was definitely just one of those experiences again. You know, I haven't been back since. Who knows if I'll ever go back? But it was like one of those things that just lined up, right place, right time, and everything was kind of moving that way. So that was one that I'll remember forever for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. What time of year was it? Was it chilly?
No, it was pretty warm. Like, maybe warm, like I don't think so at all. Maybe even the shorty, but it was pretty warm. Might have been like August time. It's been a long, long time ago now. But it was a sick event. We had tons of guys from all over the world. We had like Eric Leinster, Craig Cunningham, all those kind of guys. I don't know if you know much of those guys, but
Yeah.
yeah, had a solid crew. Because back then, park style was massive, you know, like now big air is kind of taken off in the kite scene heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But back then it was all about boot riding and hitting ramps and rails and stuff like that. So that's kind of what that event was all about.
Cool. What about your favorite video that you got to make? Or
That's a good one.
yeah.
Favorite video. Yeah, I mean, maybe a cruise mode. That was like a pretty like DVD-esque style video where it was just like it's one of those timeless ones. It's kind of on the older side now, but that was a cool video because basically me and my friend Andre filmed the whole thing, and I edited the whole thing, and it was like one of our biggest, most viewed videos from a while back now.
Let me see if I can. What was it called? Sorry.
Cruise mode kiteboarding.
Cruise.
Cruise, you know, like cruise control.
Oh yeah, cruise control. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, here it is. Cruise control kiteboarding.
Yeah, it's pretty old now. It's like ages ago, but it's definitely worth the watch. Pretty fun video. Kind of showcases Antigua lifestyle quite nicely.
You got Cabrina on it?
So yeah, maybe a little bit of Cabrina. I think we're kind of switching brands at the time. I might have been on Ozone and
is it this one?
I guess. Oh no, so that's a different one. So that's cruise
Oh, that's different?
control. Let's see.
Do I just put cruise?
Yeah, cruise. Let's see. I think it's called cruise mode. So there's cruise mode.
Mode. All right, let's try that. Cruise mode.
Let's see.
Swag. Cruise mode.
Maybe I got the name wrong. It's been so long, dude. Let's see.
Oh, that's all right. I'll see if I can find it after. Have you been to like King of the Air stuff before?
Not really, actually. Like obviously, because I was like mainly traveling and doing that sort of stuff in the early days before like Big Air was so massive.
Yeah.
So I never actually made it to a King of the Air or anything like that.
Okay. It's on the bucket list to go check out, along with other Caribbean islands. I did really enjoy. I really did enjoy Bonaire. It was such a cool little swimming and flat water experience. It was awesome. The food was good. People are friendly.
Yeah,
it's pretty
Bonaire's
safe
cool,
down
though.
there. Yeah,
When did you go?
safe.
Did you go recently?
Yeah, we went in May. We had a camp with Cezanne. It's one of my buddies runs that school there, and him and his wife or him and his partner run it. And it was super cool fun time. And it was a week, and we got like 4 people all the way from Norway. Funny enough.
Nice.
And they flew out, and they were all stoked. And it was like, oh, this is warm water compared to like 6'5" wetsuits and shit like that. So it was so different. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Do you do camps worldwide, or you mainly focus on your school on Antigua?
Yeah, so now we mainly focus on the school here, just because we got everything here and the season's quite good. Because the season's from like November until July. That's like a windy, guaranteed kind of wind months.
Oh wow, that's
so
pretty
it's
good.
a pretty
8
solid
months.
season. It's
Yeah,
like 3 months off where the weather gets a bit funky. And yeah, I don't know. You know, now we have the family and all that stuff. It's kind of nice just having a home base and having all the stuff here. And honestly, it's just like nice conditions too. So like, you know, a lot of times when we travel, sometimes we just want to do something else because it's
True.
like
I hear you.
not quite like our spot back home, and we just get to ride quite a bit.
Nice.
So yeah, mainly
Not
focused
bad.
down here.
Not bad. Well, I'll have to throw it on the bucket list then. Give you guys
Yeah,
a
man.
shout.
And where are you based in Canada, right?
Yeah, I've been traveling a lot the last year, but normally we sail in the Great Lakes here. My brother's on Vancouver Island, so the west coast of Canada. We have some really nice lakes there that are thermals, and you're camping in like 6 to 8 foot old growth, which is really cool. But that's normally where we hang out. There's a couple spots where you can just hang out, make fires, cook on the beach, and nobody bugs you. So that's kind of our jam. Or you go down to Hood River, which is like 6 or 7 hours from there. And then you get some nice kind of rolling swell. The foiling in Hood is super cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
The
Looks
water,
insane.
though, shit, I smelled my wetsuit, though, after I came back, and it was,
Oh,
tongue's a little stingy, and it was like gross. Anyways, that river is not
yeah,
the cleanest, but
hard to have it all, right?
yeah, not the clean, crystal clear water that we have up here. But anyways, that's the way it goes. But
Yeah.
what's the website for your school and stuff? If anybody's looking for it.
Yeah, so it's just kelsick.kiteboarding.com.
All
We're
right.
in the process of maybe changing our brand name to Kelsick Water Sports, just because now we do a lot more than just kiting. But yeah, kelsick.kiteboarding.com.
And that is Kelsick. KelsickKiteboarding.com. Yeah, it's crazy how quickly all these other sports blew up. Eh? Do you think winging will get as big as, let's say, windsurfing or supping or anything like that? We asked this years ago, but I wonder,
Yeah,
because
I think
people
so,
are still
dude.
scared of the foiled. But
Yeah, they are. But I think it's interesting because I think winging is creating a lot of new foilers. There's a lot of people who would never ever foil or even think about it. And now, like, oh, looks like a fun sport for me, and it involves foiling, and I'm just gonna figure it out and do it.
true.
So I think winging's definitely absolutely exploding the water sports scene right now because people think it's less dangerous than kiting. It takes a little bit less lessons and less time to get to the stage where you know enough to keep doing it. So it does have a lot of pros compared to when kiting was just the main kind of wind sport that everyone wanted to do.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot. One thing that's nice about winging or is that you can just sit down on your board and flag your wing and whatever, right? And
For
just
sure.
relax. You don't
Yeah.
need to worry about much. Now, kiting is a hell of a lot different now. You can kind of relax a lot more than you used to. But I've almost got the brother convinced to start winging. Almost. But he's like, he loves kiting so much, we might not be able to get
He's fighting it. Huh? That's funny.
him. Just loves it. But
That's
it
the
is
thing.
cool. Yeah.
They're two different experiences for sure, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, because we teach a lot of people too, like it's tricky because like kiting, if let's say you do like 3 days of lessons, right? Kiting, you maybe get to that big moment of like riding the board, and that's like a sick feeling for someone who's new that has never done anything. But then with winging, basically how we structure our lessons is, let's say you do the same 3-day lesson. On your first lesson, you'll get a taste of the wing for like 45 minutes, an hour, and then you're going to go on your wing foil board behind the boat and hopefully get a little taste for foiling.
Yeah. Nice.
So off that first lesson, you kind of like, maybe you don't get any foiling, but you still have a feel of like what's happening, and like you kind of get that stoke, bam, right away. And then sometimes it's a little bit harder because sometimes the progression after that is not as fast. Like when you get back on the wing, you maybe get where you taxi and maybe get a little taste of foiling. Some people kill it and they actually do the whole thing. A lot of people get to that point and they're like, damn, I learned how to foil behind the boat. I thought I was ready. I'm ready to go. And then you get back on the wing and it's like, obviously it's a little bit different.
A whole new world.
But the thing is, after that though, like people can like buy gear and continue learning by themselves and not really put themselves in danger. Whereas kiting, you maybe got to that stage where you could ride, but you're not ready to buy your own gear and just go kiting on your own.
True.
So it's interesting. Yeah. I think, the chance of people actually continuing with winging and actually becoming a winger is a little bit higher than kiting because you can do it in more places and it's just safer too. I don't know everything, but I know where I'm trying to go and I can go and get some reps in and not end up dragged down the beach or wrapped around a tree,
Yeah. All the potentials.
That chaos.
Yeah, that's true. Do you teach them like sitting down or kneeling first?
So we start kneeling just to try and get a little taste, and then usually your knees and ankles start to freak out, like what are we doing? So we try not to do that for too long, just enough to get a taste, and then we get you to your feet and go super slow and just get you playing around, try and mimic kind of what's going to happen when you get on the wing. But it's cool, like it's actually so fun to be able to do it this way too, because when I first started teaching, we kind of just taught from the beach, like back in the day for kiting and stuff, and never really got into the boat side of things. Like having the boats obviously add a lot more expense to your business, but like the way you learn a lot faster, and it's just like a sick tool for teaching because like you can actually like squeeze every last drop out of like someone's energy and time because it's just like a great setup to get the reps in, right? All this stuff is like
True.
the theory gets you so far, but it's a rep game. It's just about doing the thing enough to get a feel. Now you got the feel. Now you do it a little bit without thinking about it as much, and it just kind of gets better and better as you get time to just do the thing, you know.
And then 20 years later, we got it.
Yeah, you know.
They learn fast though. The kids are insane. Like what the kids are doing in all these different spots. It's cool to see a young generation get into it and just absolutely adore it. And that ease of access, like Jet, this little Jet, I think he's 9 or 10. He was learning how to pump foil. There's other kid that attended an SFT event. He was 10 or 11. So it's like pretty cool to see them get into it and they can handle it, and you can feel comfortable that they're not going to completely annihilate themselves.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. Like, what were your thoughts on that? Because even when we first started, right, it was like this kind of weird thing. Like, oh, you know, is it going to catch on? Is it not? What's going to actually happen? Or you kind of just go back and forth. And then now, when the guys do all the freestyle stuff and the waves, is like, yo, this is very different than what we thought it was going to be when it first started coming out. You know.
It's the cool. It gave me the feeling of being like a surfer, because I was never a prone surfer, like because we didn't have waves around here. But riding swell, riding waves, riding stuff that's not crazy critical, like you feel like you're crazy critical, right? Because you got like, it might be 2 feet, but you feel like, shit, I'm 5 feet up.
Feel that power, dude. Feel that energy.
That speed. So I think it's such a cool feeling that it brought mediocre sessions to awesome. And now I'll do like a windsurf session if on a blast, and I can finish up with an hour on the wing or something. And just, yeah, the way you can ride a wave is just completely different than you would do it. And I think it'll open up the opportunity for a whole bunch of people to experience what being a surfer is like, and not necessarily having to put as much time into it than you would if you're learning how to like prone paddle into a barrel or stuff like that, which is a full commitment onto itself.
Yeah, and that's like the best thing of foiling, man. It's changed the water sports industry forever. It's turned, you know, your time into an epic session. Whereas, you know, most of these sports, you got to line your time up with the conditions.
True.
Those line up maybe a couple times a year, or it depends on where you are. But now with the foil like that, like, you know, sweet spot is like massive compared to traditional boards and, you know, doing it the old school way. So it's super cool, man. Foiling is addictive and fun because it'll give you as much as you want to get whenever you get time. So,
well, your little one's going to be on there soon. Do you guys have good gelato there? Because I know the gelato in Bonaire was pretty good.
Gelato? What's that?
It's like it's an Italian ice cream. It's just super creamy ice cream.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe we probably have that around, but it's not like a big, massive thing.
Not a big thing, no? What's the main dessert there?
I mean, Antigua's kind of like international, kind of. So we have a little bit of everything. Whatever you want, we probably got it, you know? You got a brownie cheesecake, you got, you know, got your ice creams, got your fruits. You know, I'm more of like a fruit guy when it's fruit season. I love me a good mango.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mango's
good stuff. I think you just posted that YouTube video, right, that you were mentioning?
Oh, yeah. I put it in the chat. I don't know if that...
I can't access it for some reason. But anyways, you can. I'll get it to you on our WhatsApp after, and I'll post it in the notes to check that out. Well, hey man, thanks for taking the time, getting to know us, and coming on. It was cool chatting with you.
Likewise, man. I love the vibe, love the energy, dude. Very calm, very flowy. Yeah. It's on that little, 4-foot wave, just cruising down.
That's it.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing too, dude. It's like really, because obviously I make content and stuff as well. So it's cool to see other people doing it a different way and how it's all going, and just jamming about, this thing that we're all obsessed with. It's fun.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, our team's super passionate, and they just love connecting and meeting people from around the world and hearing their stories. And it's one way that we can kind of give back as well to everybody that tunes in. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No stress at all.
All right, buddy. We're going to chat soon.
All right, brother.
Okay. Bye, everybody.